Who
we had
fucking knows what's in that house?
we had a situation in Moscow one time where we were building. It was the new embassy, the U.S. embassy in Moscow, right? And for some reason, part of the deal was to allow Russian contractors to work on the construction of this. Yeah, what the fuck, So, but it's a government thing, and so you can imagine there's to your point, there's not a lot of coordination. So, the Russian contractors thinking, oh, this is great. We're helping to construct the U.S. embassy. And they know there's going to be sensitive areas within there, the station, for the agency and other areas. Anyway, at a certain point, they're just about finished with construction. And just not by happenstance, I mean, there were efforts to try to examine what the Russians were doing, right? So the security side of things, they were concerned about the fact that the Russians were working on it. You had the State Department and others that were like, no, it's a good idea. It helps with diplomacy. So the security guys were doing things. They were X-raying, parts of materials that were coming in for the construction. Apparently, at one point, what was going on was the Russians were installing listening devices inside the rebar, right, of the construction process. And apparently, at one point, they, one of the wires on one of these communications devices that was stuck in there had broken, and so they soldered it. The Russians did. They soldered it with aluminum. And that showed up when they were X-raying that particular large bit of material that they were going to install. And that was the way that they found out. And they said, what the fuck? Then they had to tear the entire goddamn thing down. I forget it. I think it was 2 or 3 different floors of this embassy. They had to remove, they bit by bit, shipped it back to the States to examine fully. And it was just loaded with listening devices by the Russians, right?